Hello and welcome back to Motorshed. I'm Steve Fox and today we're going to have a look at the highlights from the 2018 Paris Motor Show. We'll have a look at some of the important cars launched there and I'll show a few of my favourites on display. So kicking off we have Ferrari, starting with what looks very dull considering the company it's in. But here's the Portofino, Ferrari's entry-level car replacing the California. There are more interesting cars here, so let's immediately move on. So this is the new Monza SP1 single-seater. It's loosely based on the 812 Superfast, but has an uprated 810 horsepower 6.5 litre V12 engine. It's the most powerful engine Ferrari have produced. There'll only be 499 units produced, making it fairly exclusive. There's also an SP2 version available, which is a two-seater. I imagine that'll be more popular, but for some strange reason it was missing from the stand on the day I visited. It has an all-aluminium chassis wrapped in all carbon fibre bodywork. All open like this, it's bound to sound incredible. The base price for this exclusivity, €1.6 million. They also had a 488 Pista Spider, the track-focused version of the folding metal hardtop 488. It's furnished with a 3.9 twin-turbo V8, making 720 horsepower. There's lots of exposed blue carbon on this, which looks really tasty, but we don't really have time for this one or the 812 Superfast. Probably the biggest car to be unveiled at the show, the new 3 Series BMW. I've made a video looking at this in a lot more detail, so head there after this video if you're interested. In a nutshell though, this new 3 Series is supposed to be centred more towards the driver experience, and it promises to improve things all round. Although the 3 Series was the main draw, BMW also had on display the new i8 Roadster and 8 Series, but again it was more mainstream models that gained the attention, including the new X5. Not a massive departure from the previous model, but an all-round refresh. The main thing you'll notice is that massive grille. It has similar laser lights to the new 3 Series. The biggest change though is in the interior, where you now get loads more tech and more luxury than ever. Heading over to something more French now, and I did take a shine to this racing version of the Alpine sports car. Don't know too much about it, I've got to be honest. I just thought I'd show you. So back over to the Germans, and it was the e-tron that took centre stage at Audi. Their first all-electric car. This has the equivalent of a 400 brake horsepower engine, from its 300 kilowatt twin electric motors, which will get you from 0 to 60 in just under 6 seconds, which isn't bad, but an absolute slouch compared to the Tesla Model X. So think of that what you will. Range is anticipated to be around 250 miles of everyday driving, but I guess time will tell on that. Catching the most attention though on Audi's stand was the BT18 e-tron, Audi's interpretation of their future all-electric supercars. So pretty interesting looking car. Porsche, still celebrating their 70th birthday, had this beautiful lineup of their best ever hypercars. The refreshed Macan looks nice in this vibrant blue paintwork. But the star of the show was undoubtedly the new 911 Speedster concept, parked alongside this classic 356 Speedster from the 1940s. This car will go into production as well in 2019, of which 1,948 units will be produced. That figure obviously relating to the year the first Porsche hit the roads. Based on the 911 GT3, it has a double bubble rear deck lid, so this isn't a folding metal roof like you might expect. It does have a temporary canvas roof for emergencies and temporary use, but you're not going to use it every day. This has a 6-speed manual gearbox, but details on the engine are sparse at this time, but a fantastic looking car. Can't imagine you'll see many in the UK. I expect most will be sold in the US where the weather's a little better. Moving on to the Mercedes stand, and the coolest thing on display was the Vision EQ Silver Arrow, a modern tribute to the original Silver Arrow from the 30s. It's an incredible looking thing. You need to spend some serious time to soak in all the attention to detail that they've made on this. Unfortunately, at the point I visited the Mercedes stand, it was so busy you couldn't actually see any of the cars. I did manage to get quite close to the new GLA, but somebody had thrown up in front of it. So I can only assume it's not a pretty car and somebody really didn't like the way it looked. Seeing as though we're in Paris, I guess we better look at something French. The undoubted star of Peugeot's stand being this, the E-Legend concept. It has 2 electric motors, 1 on each axle, produces 456 brake horsepower and has a range of just over 300 miles. So all sounds very good, but they're not going to build it. So where's the fun in that? But incredible car nonetheless. Really, they should build it. Build it. Renault, seemingly with nothing new to show off, littered its stand with crazy concepts. Good to look at for a few seconds, but none of them beautiful, none of them realistic, and all of them pointless. So let's move on to something a little more British, a little more awesome. Jaguar Land Rover. They had a queuing system to get onto their stand, so it didn't get overcrowded, which made it easier to see the cars on display, which was nice. They had a number of their sportier SVR models on show, including this Range Rover Sport, which has a 5-litre V8, chucking this Chelsea tractor to 60 in just 4.5 seconds. It's a fantastic machine. I would love one. But if you prefer the Jag, well, they do offer an SVR in the F-Pace. This one has the same engine, but gets to 60 in 0.2 seconds quicker, and it's some 20 grand cheaper as well, so tasty. Something a little greener, or redder, is the new I-Pace, Jaguar's all-electric SUV crossover thingy. Starting at £63,000, this will match the 2 SVRs on 0 to 60 and has a 298 mile range. Competing with cars from Tesla, it will be interesting to see how much of an impact this car makes in the UK EV market. They have a racing version of this car too, which looks cool next to their Formula E car. So Lamborghini weren't at the show, but one of the local dealers was kind enough to bring a few of their tastier models to Ogle, including this stunning new Aventador SVJ. This should be the last hurrah for the Aventador before its replacement comes along. It has a lap time of 6 minutes and 44 seconds at the Nürburgring, so it's blisteringly fast, ear-piercingly loud, and has bonkers styling. Love it, love it, love it, and I want one now. Lexus introduced their flagship luxury crossover, the LF1 Limitless concept. I have to say, this is an incredible looking machine. I've never liked Lexuses, but this thing does look superb. The lines, that grille, the colour look richer than anything I've seen before. They won't be putting this into production either. It's purely to showcase technology innovation and Lexus's latest design innovation. So we could just ogle it for now and look forward to the future from Lexus. If you've seen my channel before, you'll know I'm a big fan of the Mustang, so I had to include these babies in my roundup. So a few of the new models from Shelby. This one, the naturally aspirated version, produces 480 horsepower, mainly thanks to a new exhaust system, but apparently a Ford Performance supercharger is available to bump the horsepower to over 700. I can only imagine how awesome this car sounds, and from $61,000 it's not bad value, although we're not likely to see a right-hand drive model over here. Doesn't stop me wanting one though. There was a big EV presence at the Paris Motor Show, but this one looked the most fun. Look at it, it's so cute. Not actually a production model, but a nice idea anyhow. Love the trippy rear lights. The biggest surprise for me at the event came from VinFast. Not heard of them before? Well, you can be forgiven for that. I'd heard of the new Vietnamese car maker, but was yet to see how nice their models actually looked. Based on the outgoing BMW 5 Series and X5, the Lux A2.0 and Lux AS 2.0 SUV, I know, great names, they look impressive, probably due to the fact that they were designed with the Pininfarina design house. They have more models planned for next year too, electric models at that, so I'm looking forward to hearing more from this company. Good first impression, have to say. So that about wraps up my highlights from this year's Paris Motor Show. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Please check out some of my other videos and please subscribe, as it does mean an awful lot to me. See you again soon. Bye bye.